All right, guys, so we're going to get started. So welcome to your weekly Team Perseverance Team Call. My name is Dave Atkins. I'm your upline, one of your upline Star Diamond coaches, but the founder of Team Perseverance. And this week, we come together each and every week to have a team call and go over news, recognition, what's going on, the latest, a couple announcements, and then many times, especially lately, we've been having some unbelievable great guest speakers. And tonight, I'm really excited to hear Caleb speak tonight and get to hear from him live on the call. And I know so many of you guys are excited as well. So first, I want to go over a couple of announcements, guys. Number one, make sure you guys are checking into the team page every single day, because a lot of things are evolving going on with Summit. A lot of things are changing. Some of the announcements I'm going to say now, and I'm constantly, there's a Facebook group, many of you know, many of you don't know, called The Wall, and it's for 5-star diamonds and higher. So that's where corporate is able to push out the most important things going on. So that's when I get that, and I automatically post it on the Coaches of Team Perseverance page. So make sure you're checking in there to get any latest news, like daily. Go in there and check it out. We have a lot of people in there, and there's always questions too, and there's so many leaders on this team that people can, in fact, answer the question. So first thing is, it's the last week of our challenge group that we have team-wide. So whatever challenge group you guys are in that your upline diamond is running, remember that if you have challenges, to follow up with them and, in fact, invite them using the system, using the scripts that we have to invite them to be coaches to join our team. We are definitely looking for more leaders to build even more. Guys, I shared this with the Diamonds, and I'll share with you guys. The month of May into June has been one of the slowest months in team growth since I started saying, you know what, I want to build this team, and it was 54 coaches after 2 years, and that was August 2013, and it's been a tough month. So this business has peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. So I am trying to work twice as hard on personal development and twice as hard on so many things and become a better leader, because I always say the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So I always say it's on me. If something's not right, it's on me. If something's not working, it's on me. So I'm always about, I have to improve. I want the team to improve. But we are a team, and I need you guys as leaders to be there for me each and every day. So plug into the team page, see what's going on. Number two, challenge pack specials for the month, 21-day fix and 21-day fix extreme. Those are the specials for my second announcement. Third, Summit is around the corner, guys. It is probably about, 6 weeks away, 7 weeks away. It's going to be an unbelievable event. If you are a newer coach or a coach on this call who still doesn't have a ticket, there is still time to go to CoachSummit.com and put your name on the list to get a ticket. So don't waste time. This event, the first time I went to Summit to my second Summit, my income went up 700%. So many times people say, I can't afford to go to Summit. I want to say you can't afford not to go to Summit. Like, you need to be there. This is the event that's going to change your business. And I know there's so many that have found a way to, in fact, get themselves to Summit, and that's what it is about. It is what's going to explode your business. I'm just going to tell you, every year I went up, my income has basically doubled, more than doubled, from 1 year to the next going to Summit. So you want to get there. The summer sale is kicked off, and it's there. I posted on the Coaches of Team Perseverance page. There's a lot of items that are on sale and largely discounted. So maybe you have some prospects. Maybe you have something you want yourself. But guys, I'm always about, don't be white noise on your social media. Just throwing up a photo with all the sale items. People are going to scroll by it. It's just white noise. You're trying to be sold to something. No, it's there. Look at your prospect list. If you have somebody that was inquiring about a certain program or product or equipment, now is the time to follow up and offer them the discount. Or now is the time to really, where you maybe want to get stuff on discount. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of throwing sales up there. I never do it just because it's salesy. And would you follow yourself if you did that? Like, twist it around. I always say, think about if you were following yourself. Would you, in fact, follow yourself if somebody just kind of throw buy, everything's on sale? Last but not least, the most important is recognition for the team. So I just want to go in and just pull out, it's the end of May. I mean, it's the beginning of June, but the end of May has come. So we have a little more recognition. So the top recruiter for Team Perseverance as a whole was Sharice Nolson with 5 new coaches in the month of May. And the top Success Club earners for the month were, I don't even like saying myself. So Laura Schiller had 16 points. So Laura and Charisse, congratulations on being the top recruiter and the top Success Club point earner. And then I also want to go over weak leg team volume recognition. It'll take about a minute to do. These are the coaches on the team, guys, that are truly leaders. They're building their weak legs, their inside legs. And I know some people are like, I don't even get that. I have no clue what that talks about. If you go through Coach Basics and you really start building a business, you will realize that when you grow and you start building leaders and you start growing your team and income starts coming in, you have to build your weak leg, which for most people, it's your inside leg most of the time. So the true leaders are, let me throw my glasses on. In the 300 Club, we have Laura Schiller. I just said her name. Angela McLaughlin, Karen Brazillo, Gina Strecco, Alondra De Leon, Sandy Tisdale, Lisa Marr, Kerry John, Sienna Hemingway, and Mary Pasilia. In the 500 Club, Lindsay Kaufman, Kristen Atkins, second CBC, Jay Fortile, Mike Della Sala, Danielle Zito, Cindy Corwin, Devin Wheaton, Michelle Fry, Rachel Rote, and Shanna Carlucci in the 500 Club. In the 1,000 Club, Denise Brobson, Shannon Larice, Tara Richmond, Kelly Della Vecchia, Tony Carlucci, Lindsay Medvin, and Mike Holdman. In the 2,000 Club, Stacy Larice, Jen Holdman, Elizabeth Mullenbrook, my second CBC, Jeff Nolson, and Michelle Della Sala. In the 3,000 Club, my wife, Kristen Atkins, Shanna Carlucci, and Charisse Nolson, and I in the 10,000 Club. So, guys, amazing, amazing work, everybody, for weak leg team volume, for top recruiter with Charisse, with Laura with the Success Club points. Guys, amazing things going on. I'm excited, really excited about this summer. So let me go to, something's popping up here. Let me go to now who I want to introduce, and I lost him because we had a lot more people here. I got to find where Caleb is. Where is he? Oh, my goodness. I'll find him. There he is. I see him. So, guys, I want to introduce, I'm really excited, and so many of you know Caleb from his YouTube videos, but guys, this is the thing. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to the business just based on his videos. Yes, they make us laugh, but so many of us, we use them in our trainings, right? But if you follow Caleb and you actually watch his stories and you actually see, in fact, what's going on, you realize he's a real person. He shared something recently on his wall about, sending somebody a happy birthday message and how it came back to him. And, he's a true gentleman. He's a true leader. He's a coach as a person. And I'm really excited to introduce Caleb again on this call. So here we are, Coach Caleb. I want you to unmute your line. And I don't even know where he went again. Why do I keep losing him? If you got it, unmute your line. Where did Caleb go? Where did Caleb go? Did we lose him? Does anybody else see him? He was on.
Dave, it said he left the meeting.
Oh, boy.
He must have gotten kicked out.
Uh-oh. All right, hold on. Let's see if he pops back on. I was like, I noticed his mic went off, so I'm like, he's going to come back in with some grand entrance or something. All right.
It must be stage fright.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. All right, let's just see. So we're at 36 people. I can tell you that, guys. So when it goes to 37, if it jumps, I know he popped back on. If not, I'll just play one of his videos. We'll pretend he's here. Let me message him. Hold on.
It just said he joined the meeting.
Oh, he did?
I just saw a pop-up.
Oh, there he
I
is.
see him. He's there.
He's there. You're back. Caleb, you there? I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, there it is.
Ah, yeah.
All right.
Am I introduced?
Yes, you're introduced. Somebody said, here's Caleb, and somebody said, he's gone. He must have got stage fright.
No, sorry about that. My internet's really terrible here. I'm like right in the middle of town, but sometimes it still goes in and out. But since I'm introduced, I have no idea how he introduced me. How much time do I have, David? Am I just off and running? I have no idea what's going on. If you guys are there, give me thumbs up. Okay, you guys are there. Cool. All right, so I'll just start rolling here. If you guys don't know, he just probably introduced me, give me a nice warm welcome. But my name's Caleb. A lot of you guys know me as the YouTube dude, as the guy that made all those videos. I know those videos are around in a lot of people's team trainings. I basically got my start with Beachbody. I'll give you a little bit of background and context for me and how I got started with Beachbody. It all started for me back when I was at Penn State. Any Penn Staters here? Anybody? I was a trumpet player at Penn State. Penn State was a trumpet performance major, so you could basically call me a professional band nerd. And I sat in a practice room for 6 to 8 hours a day, just sitting there, hunched over my trumpet, playing trumpet. And long story short, my health and fitness just went down the tubes. It was frustrating because I used to be a competitive swimmer, competitive swimmer for all my life, and then I went to music school and completely lost all that. So it was really frustrating. It was kind of like that slow downward spiral. Who's ever experienced that, where you're in tip-top shape and then you lose it all gradually? Yeah. It's super frustrating. And there was one night I was actually laying in my apartment eating pizza. It was $7 pizza night at Papa John's. Papa John's was right across the street from my apartment. And I went over there and I got my Thursday night pizza. It was my tradition. And I was dipping the pizza in the garlic butter dipping sauce. Oh, so delicious. And I was watching YouTube videos, ironically. And I get on YouTube and I'm watching this video, and all of a sudden an advertisement pops up, and this guy named Wayne Wyatt. Anyone recognize the name Wayne Wyatt? Yeah, cool guy, absolutely amazing family man. He was top coach in, I think, 2011 and 12. Really great guy. And he's got like 16 kids, like 5 different businesses. He's entrepreneur, mastermind. And he gets on this P90X commercial on YouTube, and he's like, I did P90X. It was the hardest thing you'll ever heard of. And it was so hard, my legs fell off, and he like flexes and lightning bolts shoot out of his abs, and like he's like, and his veins are like the size of my biceps. Awkward. Basically he's the reverse psychology of, don't do this program, it's too hard, you're gonna die. And I was like, sign me up. How do I do this program? I want to do this. It worked for me, the reverse psychology. So I got on Craigslist. No, I was one of those people. I got on Craigslist. Okay, so first point of encouragement. How many of you have ever been talking to someone and you're like so excited about working with them? They're going to be like the next superstar. You know it already. They're going to be your knockout, crush it every single day challenge group member. And you're like, okay, let's just get you set up with your program and you'll be ready to go. And they're like, I got my program. I'm ready. And you're like, no, you didn't. You did not get your program yet, because I did not see that yet in my back office. Who's ever experienced that? Yeah, don't give up on those people. There's your first point of encouragement. Don't give up on those people, because as frustrating as that is, if someone had given up on me because I did that, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. I wouldn't be here presenting to you guys. So you just never know. It's such a difficult thing to know, like who your next people was. But we're coaches. We're here to help people. So even if they don't, this is just my philosophy. Even if they don't buy from me, they still deserve help, and maybe I can put them in a different challenge group, or maybe I could put them over here. But don't give up on those people, because if I had been given up on, I wouldn't be here. So I got my P90X. I met this guy at this gas station parking lot. I actually met this guy at a gas station parking lot. We did the exchange there. He's wearing a hoodie. It's like cold, so we're both hunched over. It's a dark parking lot. It's nighttime. We approached each other. It's like legit drug deal. Someone was looking out the window of the gas station parking lot. They're like, dude, there was a drug deal. I just saw that. It was awesome. Totally just saw that. We did this exchange. I gave him the cash. He gave me the DVDs, and we just turned opposite directions and ran away from each other before one of us got shot. And that's how I got P90X. It was awesome. Overnight, I changed my life pretty much. I was one of those people that just decided, and I flipped the switch, and I went all in, and I didn't miss a single workout in 90 days, got phenomenal results, and just naturally started sharing what I was doing with the world. Like, I was in this school of music, so no one's in good shape. We're all unhealthy nerds. And all these people were like, what are you doing, dude? You're crazy. All you talk about is health and fitness. You're supposed to be a music nerd. And so I was telling them, get on Craigslist, go get this program. It's amazing. Get on eBay, buy Shakeology. That's what I did. And, I was naturally coaching people, and this guy caught wind of it. I was following all these coaches online because, it was a small community back 3 years ago, actually 6 years ago when I first heard about it. At that point, the network had just started, so it was a really small, tight-knit community. I was on the forums watching everybody posting, like all these coaches were talking about how they were going to all these different places and they were making bags of money, and I'm like, yeah, right. What a scam. They must be selling cocaine in Shakeology bags. It's ridiculous. And, I had all these objections and just believed it was just this horrible pyramid scheme, like evil, like plan that they're just trying to make money. And like I had all the wrong beliefs about what it was and what it wasn't. And this guy saw my results on Facebook. I was posting about it naturally, getting all these people excited. He's like, dude, you got to become a coach. Like, I'm looking for coaches for my team, and I would love to have you with us. And I immediately was like, no, I want nothing to do with your pyramid scheme. You're slime ball crap. Get out of my life, you evil monster. Like, I had no clue what I was talking about. I literally pulled out the excuse that I was a Christian, and I can't be a part of something so morally terrible. I had no clue what I was talking about. And I'm embarrassed to tell you guys that, but it's the truth. So there's your second point of encouragement from my story. Who's ever seen somebody that is going to be the next David Atkins, the next Caleb Thomas, the next Lindsay Matway, the next Scotty? You see these people and you're like, if I can just get them on my team, I'm set. Like, it's going to be awesome. They're going to be great. Who's ever seen those people and you go to them, you're so confident in there and you believe in them and they just totally shut you down. Like, one time talking to them, they just ram it back in your face and it's devastating. Who's ever experienced that? Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I was that person. So don't give up on those people either. Don't give up on the people that don't buy from you, and don't give up on the people that say no to you about the coach opportunity, because sometimes as coaches, it's our job to believe in people before they even believe in themselves. Really. It's our job to share our belief with them because we don't naturally have it when we are living our lives before an opportunity like this comes along. I wasn't always the entrepreneur. I wasn't always the positive thinker. I wasn't always the person that believed I could do something. But someone came along and invited me for 6 months, and then a year, and then a year and a half, and then 2 years, and 3 years. My coach invited me to become a coach on his team. And for almost 3 years, I said, no, I want nothing to do with your crap. And finally, I got to the point where I just ran out of excuses. I ran out of objections. I could not. The benefits of doing this far outweighed all of my objections and all my fears. And I finally just said, all right, let's try this. I don't even care. Let's just do it. And ever since then, it's been amazing. I realized that when I became a coach, I'm just doing a little flipperoo on you here. Sorry. When I became a coach, I realized something really cool, that I could be myself. By just being myself, the business would thrive. I could just be Caleb and just throw myself out there for the world and not filter. You hear me talking about it all the time. Keep it real. # keep it real. # no filter. Just be yourself. That's my message. That's what I am so passionate about. And the reason I'm so passionate about that is not just because I just want to be passionate about something random. It's because that's my story. For some reason, right up front, when I became a coach, sorry, my phone's going all over the place. When I became a coach, I realized that it's just so valuable to be myself and yourself. And if you do that, things just work, because there's tons of people out there trying to fit into a mold. There's tons of people out there trying to, be some person, be somebody that they're not. And everybody's trying to be that magical person. But there's so few people out there just actually just being themselves. And the cool thing is, when you're yourself, you are unlike everybody else in this. You are unlike anybody else on this planet, and that makes you stand out. And that is such a valuable thing, especially in a business like this. So I'm going to tell you a little fun story that kind of gives you an analogy that points to this whole being yourself and where you fit in and how you're unique and all these different things. And it'll kind of teach you just how cool this is and how this whole network of coaches works together. And I don't know, I think you understand here in a second. So a little bit of background context. I have a really close relationship with my grandfather. Me and him are like this. And one thing you need to know about my grandfather is one of his life dreams was to give something to my family that would long outlast him. He wanted to gift something to our family that would bless us long after the time that he was gone. And some of you may have seen pictures of what I'm talking about, but I got to spend about 2 precious years, working side by side with my grandfather, building this beautiful family vacation lodge on our property here in central Pennsylvania. It was like his life dream to do that, and he got to live that out with what he had left in his savings, and it's amazing. And I want to tell you about this place, and I don't want you to be jealous or feel animosity. I'm not telling you about this place to brag. I want to just kind of set you up for the next little thing. So you have to picture this place. It's gorgeous. It's huge. It's way bigger than we need. It's got these massive 18-inch diameter logs on the outside walls. It's got floor-to-ceiling windows. It's got 3 different fireplaces. There's an elevator in it just to move firewood from the bottom floors up to the top floor. Fireplaces. It's got everything you would want for comfort and just luxury living. It's like totally above what we need, but he wanted to give that to us, and he spared no dollar to just bless us, completely bless us. And he got a piano for my grandmother, and it's up in the loft. But out of all the different things that he put into that lodge, and all the different like bells and whistles and luxuries and excess that he put into this place, his absolute favorite part of that entire big vacation lodge that he gave to our family is this little cheap Walmart card table and a little cheap lamp sitting on that table and 2 little metal fold-up chairs that are pushed underneath that table. And he sits there and he does puzzles on that table. And that's his absolute favorite thing to do in that entire lodge. He could care less about all the other stuff. He just loves being up in that loft doing his puzzles next to the piano where his wife, Barbara, practices hymns on the piano for church on Sunday morning. It's like they're the cutest little couple. They're like the couple from the Pixar movie Up, but in real life. They're like that couple. And he'll sit there and he'll be doing his puzzle pieces and putting them together, and then she'll finish a hymn and he'll look over and be like, "That was very nice, Barbara. I really like that one." Even though he's heard it like 500 times in a lifetime of her playing piano. It's the cutest thing ever. But one day we were all up in the loft together. I was up there with my grandparents and putting the puzzle together, and my grandfather just randomly looks up at me. My grandmother's playing piano. He looks up at me and he goes, "Caleb, have you ever thought of the anatomy of a puzzle piece?" And I'm like, "What? No, like I've never thought of the anatomy of a puzzle piece. That's kind of weird." And he goes, "Yeah, no, seriously, the anatomy of a puzzle piece." And he holds this puzzle piece up and he goes, "See, it's got 2 boops and an as." And my grandmother's like, she like plays a wrong note on the piano, turns around, "Thomas, don't say that to him. He's too young. He's innocent. He can't hear that kind of stuff yet." And he's like, no. And boops and ahs. And he said, "These little 2 nubby things, the little buttons that stick out, those are the boops, okay? And the little cutouts, the holes, those are the ahs. So there's boops and ahs." And he's like, "Yeah, that's what they are, boops and ahs." And I'm like, "Okay, Grandpa, that's great. That's great, Grandpa." And we go back to doing the puzzle, and he a couple seconds later he looks up and he goes, "And did you ever think about how perfectly complex a puzzle is?" And I kind of sit back and I'm like, "No, I haven't." He's like, "Yeah, check this out. You know those boops and ahs? Every single piece in this puzzle, there's 1,000 pieces. Every single piece has boops and ahs, but each boop is completely different from each ah, and each ah is completely different from each boop, and no 2 are exactly the same. Like no puzzle piece is exactly the same. Like maybe one puzzle piece has 2 boops and 2 ahs, but they're not the same. The boops aren't the same, or the ahs aren't the same, or the arrangement of the boops and ahs aren't the same. Maybe you have one boop here and an ah, and then another boop and then another ah. Or maybe the size of the boops are different. Some piece has bigger boops than the other boops. And then even if the boops and the ahs are the same, the picture on the top of the piece is different. So every single piece is completely unique from every other piece." And I'm like, "Cool." He's like, "Yeah, it's perfectly complex. Every single piece is perfectly complex and unique. But the cool thing is they all have a special place in the puzzle that only they can fill." This is where my grandfather started like to blow my mind. I've never thought so hard about puzzle pieces. No other piece can go where this piece goes. And even better, when every single piece fits into the spot that only they can go, they come together and they create this incredible picture in the end that can only happen if every single piece remains unique and every single piece goes only where it can go. That's how something beautiful in the end happens. Does anyone like get that analogy and how we kind of are part of this? Like, whose mind is kind of blown right now? Who's ever thought about puzzles like this? It's perfectly complex. Every single piece has its place. Every single piece is completely unique in every single way from other pieces out there. And yet, when they go exactly where they're supposed to go, they come together and they create this incredible end picture. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. This piece actually goes to a puzzle of Neuschwanstein in Germany, and it's a big castle. It's the Disney castle. This is a piece of the sky. Anyway, so how true is this for us, though? Like, yeah, some of us look the same. Some of us have similar attributes and characteristics, but when you really get down to it, no two of us are exactly the same. You know, I'm a man of faith. You're going to hear me talk about that all the time if you haven't, but I believe so strongly that we've been created absolutely unique. Like, we are masterpieces in ourselves, period. And there's 7 billion plus people on this planet, and I believe so strongly that every single one of them was an intricately crafted masterpiece. And that's such a beautiful thing when you've got so many people on this planet. If we just own who we are, like, yeah, we look different. Like, your boops are different from my boops. Maybe you have a bigger ah than somebody else's ah. Or I know I'm making a funny play on words, but for seriously, like, you have a personality, you have gifts and talents and skills, and you've gone through certain circumstances and experiences, and you have knowledge about certain things that other people don't have, and you're made of this completely beautiful masterpiece that nobody else can take from you. And yet, when we all unapologetically own that, and we make that work in our coaching and our businesses as entrepreneurs, who we are, and we come together as coaches, and we just, with this simple mission of helping as many people as possible with who we are, can you imagine the incredible ripple effect we could have? Like, can you imagine the incredible ripple effect one person can have if they're like, I'm going to help 5,000 people, and then they go and do it? Can you imagine if 5,000 people were like, I'm going to go help 5,000 people? I'm terrible at math. What is that? 2.5 million people? I don't even know. It's a lot of people. That's such an incredible ripple effect. And it all starts with each individual unique piece that on its own maybe doesn't look like a whole much. But if we trust the process and how this all works, and we know that we have a place that only we can fill, we come into a bigger picture that is so beautiful. Again, like I said, I'm a man of faith, so I got to throw this in here. Proverbs 16:4 says, God made everything with a place and a purpose. Everything with a place and a purpose. And for those of you that aren't people of faith, or you don't want to, do the whole scripture thing, we all intuitively know this simple statement. Everything has a place and everything has a purpose. We all understand that intuitively. Whether we want to believe it or not, we understand, okay, yeah, we have a place and a purpose. So why not capitalize on that as entrepreneurs in this little opportunity called Team Beachbody? I want to leave you, however, with this whole puzzle piece analogy. I want to leave you with one more little thought to think about. Going along with the analogy, there are people in your circle of influence that only you can influence. I just believe that's just the unique, crazy way that we've been put into this community called Earth with all these other human beings. It's quirky, it's weird. For some reason, there are people that will only communicate with other people. And some of those people are in your circle of influence. And here's the challenge I want to leave with you. Those people are maybe the oddballs. They're maybe like the outside piece, or like a corner piece that has flat edges on more than one side, and they only connect on like one side or whatever. What happens if you are the person that can connect with them and you pull yourself out of the puzzle? You pull yourself out of the equation because you say, this is too hard. This is taking too long. I'm just not seeing the return on my investment. I've been working so hard at this, but it's just not happening. I've been at this for 2 years and I'm not seeing any return. Like, I guess I'm just not lucky. I just didn't get in at the right time or whatever. And you make the decision to say, I quit, or I walk away from this, or maybe this just isn't for me. What happens to the one person out there, or the two people out there, or the three people out there that can only connect to you on one side of you? Like, what happens to those people? They don't get their opportunity because you didn't take care of yours. You didn't take your opportunity to help them. You were selfish. I'm just going to get really in your face right now. You were selfish, and you made a decision to walk out because it was too hard, or it wasn't good enough for you, or whatever. Folks, you have a responsibility as a Beachbody coach, and you need to realize that and take that so seriously. This is not just about you. And I think I'm going to be really bold and just say what's on my heart and what has really been my message for a long time. I think too many coaches have made this opportunity all about themselves, really. Like, I think this has turned into a popularity contest. I think it's turned into a look at how glamorous I am, look how much money I'm making, look how great I am, look how, this not, guys, let's get back to our roots as Beachbody coaches and remember what it was like when we first started this network. When Tracy Morrow kicked this thing off with Carl Deichler, it was about how can we help people live happier, healthier, more fulfilling lives? Not how can we help ourselves live happier, healthier, more fulfilling lives? See the difference? It's such a small, minute difference, but it makes all of the difference. We're here to help other people. And when we focus on ourselves and our own needs, and we take ourselves out of the equation because it's just, it's not working for us, other people don't get their opportunity. It's just the way it works. It's just the way the community of people on this planet works. And you have a responsibility. I want you to take it so seriously, because it doesn't matter if all 7 billion people on this planet become Beachbody coaches and invites that one person in your sphere of influence to become a coach with you, they're not going to say yes unless the invitation comes from you. So please understand that responsibility you have in other people's lives. Understand that you are like the pebble that drops into the pond that creates that ripple effect. And if you don't throw your pebble, the ripple never happens. Like, you must be bold. You must invite people. You must talk to people. You must get over your fears, get over your objections, listen to your upline. They want you to succeed. Do what you got to do, hit Success Club, do these simple things that you got to do, because in the end, imagine what can happen. Imagine what you could be if you just fulfilled your position in the puzzle and owned it unapologetically and became part of a bigger picture. It's not about you. It's about other people. It's about selfless acts of kindness and just helping, extending yourself to help people. And gosh, John C. Maxwell always says, if you want things to be returned to you, add value to others first. And this opportunity is a classic example. You want to be blessed beyond all measure, bless other people beyond all measure, and it will come back to you. This opportunity is a classic example of that. So I guess that's my challenge, is to just get out there and start helping people and stop worrying so much about what you're going to get out of it, because that's the wrong priority. That's the wrong priority. This isn't about you. This is about helping other people, and that's where the blessing comes from. So yeah, guys, just hang in there. This is a tough thing. This is a tough thing, and not many people are cut out to do this, but I believe that you are, because you're here on this call. You wouldn't be on this call if you weren't serious about this, if you weren't really in this for the right reasons. So kudos to you for showing up. I got some messages here, but I'm not quite sure how to get them on my phone. David, back to you. Any questions, or what do you think?
I think it's great. I want to recap some of the things you said. I love it because it's such a great message. And, I relate the last thing you said, and I always tell the team that my business was stuck the first 2 years as a coach because it was all about me. I hit Success Club, but why isn't anybody else doing it? Why isn't anybody else doing what I'm doing? And I realized I had to take the focus off of me and start giving to the team and helping them succeed. And that was the switch. I just think that's so important. But what you really recapped on, and guys, what I think was really powerful is Caleb said, you got to be yourself and be your brand and keep it real, because like I always say, I am not you and you are not me. And everybody is their own individual brand. And you are not Beachbody. You are Caleb Thomas. You are Melanie Yoakum. You are Kelly Della Vecchia. You are Shannon Fletcher. You are you. And that plays into a second point that only you can influence certain people. There are people that will not relate to me, but will only relate to you. And there's people that only relate to you and only relate to me. Like people said, oh, they think that, oh, you're a successful coach, so you attract more people. No, because there's people that get turned off by that. There's people that think you already have your after picture. There's coaches in this business that will have to lose 200-300 pounds that are blowing the business up. Why? Because they're relating to another person that also needs to lose weight. So I think Caleb's message of being yourself and being your brand and only you can influence certain people, wow, that's just really, really, really powerful. And that also plays into that if you're not consistent, I want to add to this, guys, if you're not consistent, you disappear, then you never know about that person that may have reached out to you, but you, in fact, stopped. Right, guys? So I just think, Caleb, that was just an awesome, awesome message. I love the puzzle story. I'm never going to forget that to the day I die. So tell your grandpa thank you. And but I want to see if you have a second, see if there's any questions from the team. If anybody has any questions. I just updated my Zoom, guys. So the thing's on the side now, I just realized. So are there any general questions? Melanie said, true, thanks, Caleb. Awesome message. That's from my wife, Kristen. Then Melanie, I just love that. If you want to be blessed beyond measure, bless others beyond measure. Absolutely. Love it. Guys, any questions? Either unmute your line. I'm going to unspotlight Caleb there and then go to the bigger view. Unmute your line or type it in the box. I know somebody must have a question about him. You know?
Yeah, go for it. It's always awkward for the first question, but then they come.
I know. Or you're going to get the private message after from somebody like, what happened? Anybody?
Yeah, going on what David said about just the consistency, I'm still getting people, and I'm sure David is too. I'm still getting people from the first, I look back on my original invitation list that I have here, and there's literally people that are on the first 2 pages that I reached out to at the very beginning that are just getting ready to become coaches on my team or just getting into challenge groups with me. And I've been at this for 3 years now. So just got to remember that whole analogy of a farmer planting seeds. Like sometimes a seed falls on soil when it's not in season or whatever, but when in good season, that's when the crops come up, and then you have to be there to harvest them. Because what happens to just keeping with the farmer analogy, what happens if you plant corn and then you move to a different state? Like someone else is going to get that corn. Like someone else is going to get that harvest if you're not there to pick it up. So be there, don't be here a year from now, be here 2 years from now, whatever you got to do.
I love it. That's like something that Jim Rohn always talks about, I think, with the planting of the seed. I love it.
Yep.
Guys, any questions? Come on. I know there's somebody thinking a question. I know it happens every single time. Any general questions about maybe his business, what he's doing, maybe personal development, any struggles? I did share, Caleb, that, you in fact do struggle like all of us, and you posted a video recently about, you sent somebody a happy birthday message, and my wife was sharing the story with me as well. And, and some people always are trying to bring us down. The naysayers, people are trying to be, they try to bring us down in all different ways, and you're going to hit adversity and hit obstacles, and people are going to sit there and try to knock you down. But it's really about overcoming that and how you're doing that. And that story was quite powerful.
Yeah. It never gets easier. Honestly, if I'm being straight, if I'm shooting straight with you guys, that never gets easier for me. When people, it gets easier in a way, but in another way it doesn't. I understand it more and more. Like, okay, I can deal with this. I've had this happen so many times now. Like haters can hate whatever, but it still breaks my heart when people misread my intentions and maybe in good time, they'll come around. But
absolutely. So I've had a couple questions here. So do you find that most of your coaches that find you are from your YouTube channel?
So hard to say. It's so hard to say. I'd say a good number of them, usually when I start conversations with people after they reach out or whatever, or I reach out to them, like, hey, how did you first meet me? Or how did you first find me? And a lot of people will say, oh, the videos, or sometimes it doesn't even come up, but social media in general, it's so hard. It's so complex if you're on multiple different platforms. But yeah, I would say my videos are a decent part of my business, just because I've consistently built it for the past 3 years. It's just like Facebook. If you build it for 3 years, it's going to be the majority of your business.
Absolutely. And you know what? They always say, like John Maxwell says, leverage your strengths, not your weaknesses. And Caleb's strength is YouTube and his channel. Doesn't mean you guys have to do that, but if you're good at video, then go for it. Don't build on your weaknesses. Next question. I've seen you talk about challenges that haven't bought anything. Does that happen often to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in my case, yeah, just because of the numbers of people that I'm reaching out to. You reach out to 100 people, you're going to find 10 that are like, oh yeah, I have T25s collecting dust. You want to do that program with us? And sure. And then they don't buy anything. Maybe they start with Shakeology or maybe not. I choose to run my challenge groups as like an open call. People are welcome if they want to buy a program. People are welcome if they don't want to buy a program. People are welcome without programs. People are welcome with Shakeology, without Shakeology. I know some coaches run their challenge groups a lot more exclusive. Sometimes they run clean eating groups and then they feed them into their challenge groups. For me, my approach is I just run challenge groups each month, and everybody's welcome, because if you provide excellent value, in my experience, if you provide excellent value as a coach and you're feeding them and you're like nurturing them, they're going to become your coaches. They're going to become your paying customers in the future.
Love it. Love it. There's no right or wrong way to build a business. What is your favorite personal development book, or what are you reading now for PB?
Ooh, favorite. So this is a dangerous question, and I'll answer it the same way I always answer it. I'll tell you what I'm reading right now. It's The Best Yes by Lika Turkist. Because I was struggling with just overburdening myself with commitments and people asking me to do certain things, and like this opportunity, yes. And I was saying yes to everything and having no time left for myself. So I wanted to work on that. So I got that book, The Best Yes. But with that said, I don't want to just say, go get the best yes, because that might not be for you at this point in time. The best personal development book, or the book that I would recommend for you, is the book that speaks to the things that you need to work on. Because if I were to say, oh my gosh, you gotta go get Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog, it's gonna change your life. It will just absolutely revolutionize your life. But you are like the most anally like organized, on time, scheduled to the second person. It's not going to help you at all, because that book is all about time management. And if you're like a time management master, you're going to be like, I didn't learn anything. But if you struggle with leadership, or you struggle with motivation, or you struggle with belief in self or whatever, find books that speak to those things and help you develop those things. That's my recommendation for your best book.
Love it. And I guess it looks like the last question is, how many social media platforms are you on? I
am on, I would say, in full force, YouTube and Facebook. I'm on Instagram as well, but I just basically copy paste my content from Facebook to Instagram. I don't Instagram share it to Facebook because I want, just in my experience, when you link platforms, they get shared more on one than the other, and they don't always make it to the newsfeed. So I share unique content on both of them, even though it's the exact same content. Hope that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Yep. You share it and you post it individually instead of sharing it and having it do it for you.
It takes a little bit more time and effort, but I think I get better results that way.
And I love that you say that you're on just the two, because I think too often coaches think starting out, they need to be on 5 different things, and they have to master them all. And you know what? That's kind of like, I remember John Maxwell at Leadership kind of talking about, having a scarred forest, because you're doing so many things instead of hitting the same thing and eventually knocking down the one big tree. So I love that. YouTube and Facebook. Any other last questions for Caleb, guys? I know his time is valuable, and I appreciate him coming on. Going once, going twice, team. Going 3 times. All right, so Caleb, thank you so much for coming on the call. I truly appreciate it. I know we were going back and forth to set up a time. I'm always here for you if you to return the favor, obviously, or just whatever you need. But thank you so much, and we're going to see you at Summit, I'm sure.
Sounds good.
And, look forward to it. I know the team was super excited, so thank you. Have a great night, and we'll talk, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Love you. Have a great